Imagine finding a school, but no one remembers it. And the textbooks? They teach lessons you pray were never real. Join me as we uncover the unsettling secrets hidden within the pages of Cursed Curricula, salvaged from a forgotten, possibly haunted academy. Each diagram and cryptic note a chilling clue to what horrors lurked within its lost halls. 3 months ago, an estate liquidator in rural Vermont contacted me. She'd been clearing out the basement of a condemned Victorian mansion when she found a collection of ancient textbooks. 8 to 10 leather-bound volumes, water-damaged and cracked with age, all bearing the seal of an institution called the Blackwood Academy for Advanced Studies. Here's the problem. There's no record of any Blackwood Academy. Not in town registries. Not in educational archives. Not even in local folklore. The estate where these were found? Built in 1847. But according to the book's publication dates, the academy existed in 1823, 24 years before the building that supposedly housed it. The town historian I spoke with had no explanation. The property records show nothing but empty land until the mansion's construction. So what was taught here? And more importantly, what happened to everyone who learned these lessons? Let's start with what appears to be the most conventional subject: human anatomy and physiology. The textbook is titled Fundamental Principles of Sympathetic Anatomy, Volume 1. The first few chapters seem normal enough. Skeletal structure, muscular systems, circulatory diagrams. But then, around Chapter 7, things take a turn. There's a section called the Secondary Nervous System, Hidden Pathways. According to this text, the human body contains a parallel neural network that awakens only through specific rituals of sensation and deprivation. The diagrams show nerves where nerves shouldn't be, extending into impossible spaces. And look at the margin notes. Different students, different handwriting. They're not questioning this. They're taking notes. Confirmed during practical examination. Subject 7 exhibited full activation after 3 days. Subject 7. They had subjects. This wasn't theoretical study. Then there's the mathematics curriculum. A book titled Applied Geometry of Non-Euclidean Spaces. It starts with standard algebra and calculus, but evolves into something else entirely. Non-Euclidean spaces. Dimensional folding for practical architecture. There are floor plans here for buildings that couldn't physically exist. Rooms that are listed as being both on the 3rd floor and the basement simultaneously. Hallways that are somehow longer on the inside than the outside. Staircases that loop in ways that hurt to look at. One student sketched a crude drawing in the margin, a doorway with the note. Found it. 5th floor, west wing. Don't go in alone. Don't go in alone. In a school that officially never existed. But the most disturbing insights come from the student journals. Personal accounts of daily life at Blackwood Academy. September 14th, our first practical examination in Professor Ashworth's class. We were instructed to observe the specimen for signs of residual consciousness. It moved, even though Professor assured us it had been prepared 3 weeks prior. Margaret fainted. I wish I had. This entry is from what appears to be a first-year student. A child, based on the handwriting. This was their normal coursework. October 3rd, the bells rang at midnight again. We're not supposed to acknowledge them, but everyone hears. They come from beneath the chapel, where we're forbidden to go. Thomas tried last week. He sits in class now, but he doesn't speak anymore. He just draws the same symbol over and over. The next page shows that symbol, a spiral inside a circle with radiating lines. It's been drawn hundreds of times, covering both pages. The same student, 3 weeks later. October 24th, I understand now. They weren't teaching us about these things. They were teaching us to these things. We are the lesson, not the students. If you find this, don't try to find the academy. It will find. The entry cuts off mid-word. The rest of the page is blank, except for what looks like a dark stain. The rest of the journal is empty. I found attendance records tucked inside one of the textbooks. 37 students enrolled in the fall of 1823. By winter, only 19 names remained. By spring, the records just stop. No graduation ceremonies. No dismissals. The documentation simply ends in March. 37 children entered this academy, and not one of them can be found in any historical record after 1823. No death certificates, no marriage records, no immigration papers. They simply vanished from history. There's one more book I need to show you. I saved it for last because, well, you'll see why. It's noticeably thicker and more ornate than the others. The title reads, Graduating Thesis Requirements, Final Year. This is the senior year textbook. The final lessons before graduation. The first page contains a list of acceptable thesis topics. Each graduating student must complete an independent thesis demonstrating mastery of their primary field. Acceptable topics include permanent animation of non-living subjects, construction of stable non-Euclidean architecture, successful transference of consciousness, or communion with the beneath dwellers. These weren't metaphors. The book contains appendices with step-by-step instructions. Materials needed. Expected outcomes. Safety precautions for procedures that no one should ever attempt. And there are completed theses. Student projects that were apparently successful enough to be preserved as examples. One catches my attention immediately. The title page reads, The Preservation and Instruction of Postmortem Consciousness by Eliza Blackwood, 1822. Blackwood. The same surname as the Academy. This thesis is dated 1822, a year before the Academy's recorded classes. According to this thesis, Eliza didn't attend the Academy. She founded it. And her thesis explains why. She discovered a method to preserve essential consciousness beyond the constraints of living flesh and established the Academy to cultivate suitable vessels for continued instruction. Listen to this passage. A teacher's duty does not end with the death of the body, nor should a student's education be limited by such a temporary state. Through the methods detailed herein, both may continue indefinitely, each lesson building upon the last, world without end. The Academy wasn't a place that was haunted. It was a place designed to create hauntings. A school where death wasn't the end of education, it was a graduation requirement. After finding all of this, I did more digging. The Victorian mansion where these books were found? It was built by a man named Jonathan Ashworth in 1847. The same surname as one of the professors mentioned repeatedly in the student journals. Professor Ashworth's class. He built the mansion on the exact coordinates where the Academy supposedly stood, even though there's no record of any previous structure. The mansion remained in the Ashworth family until 1923, exactly 100 years after the Academy's final documented semester. That year, all 7 family members disappeared overnight. The house sat empty for decades before being condemned. When demolition crews tried to clear the site last year, 3 workers quit after one day. They reported hearing children's voices reciting lessons underground. The project was abandoned. The estate liquidator who sent me these? She asked me not to use her name. After boxing up the books, she started experiencing what she called educational nightmares. Dreams where she was sitting in a classroom and the teacher was something that had never been alive, instructing students who cast no shadows. She begged me to destroy the books. Burn them. Bury them somewhere they'd never be found. But I won't. Because if we forget these lessons, if we erase this evidence, then those 37 students truly died for nothing. Their warnings written in the margins, hidden in journals, scrawled in desperate handwriting, they meant those warnings to be found. The Blackwood Academy for Advanced Studies taught lessons that should have remained unknown. It educated students for a purpose that transcends our understanding of life, death, and the spaces between. And somewhere, in a place that doesn't appear on any map, in a building that occupies impossible space, class may still be in session. If you hear bells at midnight, don't investigate. If you find textbooks teaching impossible subjects, don't read them. And if you receive an acceptance letter from an academy you never applied to, don't attend. The textbooks remain in private collection. The location of Blackwood Academy, if it ever physically existed, remains unknown. Some lessons are better left unlearned.